Okay, in this video lesson, we'll be looking at something called degrees, minutes, seconds. So what we'll first do is look back at our understanding of something that's common to us. We know the entire day can be broken up into 24 hours. Well, with each one of the hours, we know 1 hour is exactly 1/24th of a day. We also know that an hour can be subdivided into 60 minutes. So therefore, 1 minute is exactly 1/60th of an hour. Well, we can take a minute and subdivide it into 60 seconds. So we know 1 second is exactly 1/60th of a minute. And we also can take it one step further and identify that 1 second is 1/30,600th of an hour. So we'll take this as a foundation to build upon to look at a degree. If we took a circle, and we know we subdivide a circle into 360 degrees. So therefore, a degree is 1/360th of a circle. Just like an hour, a degree can be subdivided into 60 minutes. So we're using the same terminology. So therefore, 1 minute is 1/60th of a degree. Well, just like in time, so in measuring angles, we can take a minute and subdivide it into 60 parts, each part being called a second. So therefore, 1 second is 1/60th of a minute. And just like we did with time, I can do the same thing with measuring of angles. 1 second is 1/3600th of a degree. So what we're going to do is consider the symbol for the various units. So we know the symbol for the degree is the little circle. There's a symbol for minute, which is the apostrophe. And the symbol for second is the quote. So some examples. This says 52 degrees, 12 minutes, 47 seconds. Another example, 7 degrees, 15 minutes, 30 seconds. Well, if we go backwards and look at measuring linearly, if we took 5 feet, 3 inches, which is a typical measurement if we were measuring how long something is, we could use our little symbols, 5 feet, 3 inches. Oftentimes we'll take that and just convert it into a decimal number of feet. So 5.25 feet. So we took 5 feet, 3 inches, and converted it to a single unit of feet, 5.25. Well, we'll do the same thing. So we just converted the feet and inches to what's called decimal feet. So we'll do something similar with degrees. We can take degrees that has an angle measurement that is all in both degrees, minutes, and seconds, like we had feet and inches, and convert it to some sort of decimal degrees. Inversely, we can go backwards and take decimal degrees and convert it into degrees, minutes, seconds. So that's what we're going to look at completing, is making the conversions between DMS to decimal degrees and decimal degrees to DMS. So here's our first problem. It says convert 15 degrees, 12 minutes, and 36 seconds to just degrees. And the degrees will be converted to will be a decimal degrees. Well, in this case, we already have the whole amount of degrees. So really, the only thing we're going to be converting is the minutes and seconds to some sort of decimal degrees. So, because we know 1 minute is 1/60th of a degree, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I will be converting minutes to degrees. So I'm looking back at what's the conversion between minutes and degrees. Similarly, 1 second is 1/3600th of a degree. And again, I'm articulating this because at some point we're going to convert these 36 seconds into degrees. So my suggestion is to purely focus in on the units. So we have our 12 minutes, And because we don't want minutes and we want to convert it to degrees, I'm suggesting, there's our minutes, set up our ratio where the units will cancel out. Meaning, if I start with minutes and I multiply by some fractional amount, like we have here, where the units will eventually cancel out. Well, we don't want minutes, so therefore degrees will be on top. This is what we want to end up with. And now I follow my units with the actual numerical values. We know that there are 30 minutes for every 1 degree. So by first focusing in on the units and let the numbers follow. So now we'll go ahead and multiply because technically 1 degree is the same thing as 60 minutes. Mathematically, this value actually equals 1. So the minutes will cancel out and we're left with 12 divided by 60.2. Well, let's confirm that. So I simply just did 12 either over 60. It'll first give me a fraction by pressing the double arrows. There's my decimal. So that's where we got the 0.2 from. So let's go back. So now we just converted 12 minutes to degrees. 0.2, notice my units, degrees. So let's take the next part. Let's take the 36 seconds and convert those to degrees. So we'll do the same thing. We'll be creating ourselves a fraction. Because we're starting with seconds, we'll put seconds in the denominator. Well, if seconds is in the denominator, degrees will go in the numerator. Now we follow with the numerical values. There are 3,600 seconds for every 1 degree. Set up the multiplication. Seconds cancel. So we'll be left with 36 over 3,600. I'll show that in the calculator. 36 either over 3,600, converting it, or I could have done 36 simply divided by 3,600. Still will get the 0.01. Alrighty, let's go on back to the PowerPoint. And so we just converted the 36 seconds to 0.01 degrees. So now we just put it all together. We started off with the 15 degrees. We converted the 12 minutes to 0.2 degrees, and we converted the 36 seconds to 0.01 degrees. So if we add all of that together, there's our conversion. So therefore, 15 degrees, 12 minutes, 36 seconds converts to 15.21 degrees. But what I'd like to do is kind of look back to how we got this answer so we can avoid doing multiple steps in the calculator. We want to be able to just put in one long sequence of operations. So we initially had the 15 degrees, but the 0.2 actually came from doing 12 divided by 60. And the 0.01 came from 36 divided by 3,600. So if we type this directly into the calculator, one long keystroke. So we got the 12 and the 36. So here we go, straight to the calculator. The original, let me look back. What was the original amount? 15 degrees. So let's go back. All right. So if I just simply did 15 plus the 12, I can do over. Doesn't make a difference. The 60. Move my cursor over, plus the 36 over the 3,600. Hit my double arrow. There's my 15.21. 15.21. Let's do another one. So now we're going to go backwards, converting decimal degrees to DMS, degrees, minutes, seconds. So we'll do the same thing, is focusing on the units. Well, if we convert into degrees, minutes, seconds, we recognize we already have the whole number of degrees. So what I need to do is convert that 0.325 degrees to minutes and seconds. So here we go. So we're only going to focus on that part. We already got the degree part. So we're going to convert 0.325 to minutes first. So in this procedure, you can only do one thing at a time. So we'll go from degrees to minutes. So just like before, we'll focus in on the units. 0. We have degrees, so therefore degrees will go in the denominator, and we're trying to convert that to minutes. So minutes will go on top. We know there's 60 minutes for every 1 degree. Degrees cancels out, leaving me with just minutes. So literally into the calculator, 0.325 times 60, 19.5 minutes. Now we have a second part of our answer. We have the 19 complete minutes. So now we're going to take the 0.5 minutes and convert that to seconds. So we went from decimal degrees to whole minutes. Decimal minutes is about to go to seconds. So we'll start with the 0.5 minutes. We see we're starting with minutes, so therefore minutes will go in the denominator. And we're trying to convert this to seconds. So seconds will go in the numerator. Well, there's 60 seconds for every 1 minute. Multiply, minutes cancel out, and so into the calculator, 0.5 times 60, 30 seconds. So when we put all of this together, we've got 37 minutes, 37 degrees, 19 minutes, 30 seconds. So with this one, you have to do each part one at a time. Unlike the other where we could put it all in the calculator at once, one part at a time. So here's a few sample problems. 27 degrees, 14 minutes, 6 seconds. We want to convert that to decimal, where here we're converting the decimals to just the degrees. So when we look at all 4 of these examples, it might be to your best interest to be able to articulate that some of these you're going to multiply while others you're going to divide. Well, if these are 3 whole numbers and you want to convert these to some sort of decimal, this will be the one that you would wind up dividing. Here, because you're starting with a decimal number and you want to end with whole numbers, the only way you can go from a decimal to a whole is to multiply. So that might help in at least determining how you're going to proceed with the problem. So this problem and this one will divide, while the second and the fourth will multiply. So it's the division one that we could put in the calculator all at one time. So straight into the calculator, 27 degrees plus 14 over 60 plus 6 over 3600. Straight into the calculator, 27.235 degrees. Next one. This is where we already have the degree. So we're going to first convert the decimal degree to minutes. Here we simply multiply the whole number portion. That'll be our minutes. Now we take the leftover, multiply it by 60. There's our seconds. 39 degrees, 24 minutes, 45 seconds. Third problem, just like the first. We can take the minutes divided by 60. Why? Because there's 60 minutes for every 1 degree. Here we're dividing by the 3600 because there's 3600 seconds in every degree. Straight into the calculator, final answer. Last one. Here we already have the degree. So all we got to do is take that decimal, 0.325, multiply it by 60. 19 minutes. Let's take the 0.5 minutes and convert that to seconds. 30 seconds. So therefore, 61.325 degrees converts to 61 degrees, 19 minutes, 30 seconds. So hopefully doing these 4 examples will help solidify how you will proceed.